I've been building brands for over a decade. In this video, I'm sharing with you how to create your own beautiful brand, practical advice, steps, and tools to achieve something amazing. You'll be happy you watched this. I'm Phil Pallen, a brand strategist. Welcome to my channel where I share practical advice to build your brand. Today I'm in Tulum, Mexico, and this video is for anyone building their own brand. It's something I've done for a long time for my clients, but today I'm sharing some ideas with you. Contrary to popular belief, you don't have to be an agency-level brand to emit beauty or luxury. In fact, I'd argue that there are really only three essential elements that are necessary for an effective brand identity, how your brand shows up visually online and off. So that's what I'm spending time on today with a few examples throughout. What's the first element? Let's get right to it. That's color. Here's why color is important. It instantly establishes mood, credibility, atmosphere, and overall vibe of your brand. There's a common misconception that a beautiful brand needs to be a neutral brand. And while I'm no stranger to neutrals, in fact, my own brand is pretty neutral, my colors, I'm no stranger to neutrals, but also I love a daring color choice. Let's consider fashion, for example. When you think about brands like Hermes, Gucci, and Prada, what do you think of? That's right, probably color. Similar to interior design, effective use of color in branding can create an experience. I never worry so much about breaking color rules or appealing to color psychology. In fact, I do think of those things once in a while, but I tend to flip those rules upside down and create the unexpected. And I'll give you a recent example. Take my client, Michelle Plachter. Michelle Plachter Design, a beautiful, amazing interior design agency in Philadelphia. We chose some very unexpected colors for this brand. Colors you don't see often together, turquoise, olive, chartreuse, let alone for an interior design site, and yet these colors together work so beautifully. If your brand needs to act as a portfolio, you might be inclined to have your brand colors take a back seat in favor of soft gray or white. And yes, a neutral color palette makes sense tactically, but neutrality can also be a disservice for your brand's personality. Michelle's brand is proof that your work can shine without muting your own personality. And I would argue that this daring color scheme shows her firm's capability to do the unexpected. That's the power of color. So, color is the first secret element to a beautiful brand. Let's keep moving along. There are two more. Element number 2, typography. This is the simplest way to establish your brand's personality. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a good logo, but typography can truly take a brand to a new level. And I'll use myself as an example in this case. My agency brand, Phil Pallen Collective, is living proof of typography in action. My colors are more neutral, but my brand pops because of typography. Beyond that, typography gives me maximum flexibility for Instagram content, like carousels or YouTube thumbnails and more, because each font plays a distinct visual role. So here's my strong recommendation to you. When selecting your brand fonts, try limiting yourself to Google Fonts or Adobe Fonts. Even a combination of the two is fine. Then you don't have to worry about separate or expensive licensing, and your typography will work just about anywhere. It's a given that most fonts will work for print, right? But it's not always the case for web. With Adobe Fonts or Google Fonts, you're covered. So we've talked about color, we've talked now about typography or fonts, two essentials for building a beautiful brand. Now there's one more secret element. Element number 3, photography. Now this is by far the most important part of branding, particularly for a personal brand. If you have terrible photos, you will have a terrible brand. I've never seen an exception to this rule. Photography is the single best way to recreate the in-person experience online. I've got a lot of examples and I'll share them on screen right now. Remember, you can spot any of these examples on my site, philpallen.co/projects, but have a look at some examples. To be clear, you'll notice in the examples I'm showing, Photography, in my eyes, does not equal headshots. Headshots are just too boring these days for your brand photography. Instead, you want lifestyle or editorial photos. If you're searching for a photographer, search for a wedding photographer. Go to Google Images and then follow where the links take you. That's just a little tip I've learned over the years. And on the topic of photography, especially if you're traveling, you should also check out Flytographer. I love this company. Their service is amazing, their pricing is very reasonable, and all photographers are vetted, which saves you having to do that work. Beyond that, I love how their pricing is standardized, so it doesn't matter if you're in an expensive city like Stockholm or you're in a more affordable place like Bogota, Colombia. You'll pay the same for a session. Just make sure to specify that you need a corporate booking, not personal, so you have the rights to use the photos on your site to promote your business. And I've linked to Flytographer below. So there you have it. 3 secrets to a beautiful brand: color, typography, and photography. If you've got those things figured out, nothing is stopping your brand. And as a little gift to you, I'm linking to my new freebie, my branding checklist for your new business. This is everything you'll need to know to get going. Thousands of others have found this freebie useful, and I hope you find it useful too. If you've got any other lingering questions, comment below. Let's keep the conversation going on down there. I respond to those personally, and if you've enjoyed this video, give it a like. That helps other people discover these videos, which we work hard to create for you. And subscribe for more of my videos on branding, positioning, building, and promoting your brand. Next, I'm sharing through a few videos that I think you'll be interested in related to this topic. I'm Phil Pallen. Thanks for watching, and those videos are coming up next.